Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by leaving a comment, multiple comments, or by subscribing if you have not already done so. Welcome back to another News I Missed, where I go over news I missed. I'm still magically away. Woo, I'm away in some faraway land and made videos beforehand so that you still got your cryptocurrency daily news. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. The Bitcoin network has been breaking and setting new records this year. Year to date, the Bitcoin network has settled more than $12 trillion in transactions, according to data from Coin Metrics. The data was pointed out by the founder and CEO of 10T Holdings, Dan Tapiro, who hailed the feat as evidence of hyper-Bitcoinization. Hyper-Bitcoinization is a term used by Bitcoin. No, it's kind of everyone. Anyway, the point is, by Bitcoin proponents to describe the widespread adoption of Bitcoin, while Tapiro does not consider it to have happened yet because it hasn't happened yet. He says that it is gradually happening as it has been seen in 2021. Hyper-Bitcoinization is not the widespread adoption. It is the everything adoption of Bitcoin. It is you going to a store and seeing things denominated in Satoshis. It is you buying things on a website and you being able to pay in Bitcoin. Everything will be Bitcoin in some sort of way. Even the idea that things on the internet and websites that you use will also be potentially on top of another layer that's on top of Bitcoin. That's hyper-Bitcoinization. It is when everything is encompassed by Bitcoin. Here's a little chart right here. The record is coming on the back of a previous record in which the Bitcoin network set a new all-time high record of $31 billion. Wow. $31 billion in daily transactions. Just a couple of, listen, it's right here. A couple of years ago, the idea of a $1 trillion yearly settlement just on Bitcoin's blockchain it just simply didn't make any sense. This big bar right here is going to look like this. I give it in about 10 years, like actual 10 years, especially as we get more Lightning Network adoption. This is crazy. And this once again goes even further into the discussion that I'm usually having with all of you. If Bitcoin's price usually is going down, why is it going down? The amount of adoption, it's not just, of course, the price is not everything. However, the actual usage of the network, this is insane. Even from last year to this year right now, and the year still isn't over. Just imagine how much more is still going to be piled on top of that. Anyway, this is spectacular news. We have far out surpassed, driven by first place for all the idea and the discussion was years ago is if we could pass by PayPal for yearly transactions, that's no longer a discussion. The thing that we've had during this year is when will Bitcoin's yearly transactions pass by Visa and MasterCard? And this is once again why I assume Visa and MasterCard have jumped so heavily into the cryptocurrency space because they know what's coming. Anyway, that's Bitcoin's doing just fine news. And let's move on. Next up, crypto exchange Binance has withdrawn its application with the Monetary Authority of Singapore for a digital payment token service license. There we go. On Monday, Binance.sg stopped onboarding new users and will not allow Singaporeans to adopt cryptocurrencies, deposit crypto or fiat on the exchange. They said by the 13th of February of next year, Binance plans to wind down all services that relate to dealing with cryptocurrency tokens. However, the exchange announced it would accept no responsibility for the user's assets after the self-determined deadline. For those of you who have never seen a cryptocurrency leave or go offline, if you will, they usually give roughly a 12, 13 week grace period, roughly around 3 months. And if you haven't taken your cryptocurrencies off by then, well, what are they supposed to do? They usually send out emails and text messages and tell you, hey, taking money off the exchange, but sometimes people don't. They said with immediate effect, users must start to make plans to withdraw their crypto and fiat from Binance.sg. Accounts of registered users who have not passed Know Your Customer will be suspended. So, not sure why this is happening. Very few places on the planet have had a problem with cryptocurrencies. One of them apparently being Singapore. I assume it's something I would dare say, I don't know. I honestly can't figure out exactly what it could be. I know Singapore is known as a very wealthy country. It could be something to do with economic sovereignty or the idea of allowing something new to come in that might destabilize the current system that they have. This is at least a discussion that the US keeps happening when it comes to all these things. I'm not really sure, but yeah, this may also be why Binance has announced that they're moving to Ireland and having other physical locations, other places. And I guess Singapore is not going to be one of them. So yeah, if you are in Singapore and you're using Binance Singapore, get your money off of there before you don't have it. All right, that's the Binance news. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, the chief executive of a $243 billion sovereign wealth fund says his business plans to move into crypto. What? Says he. What? The wealth fund says his business. Oh, gosh. English. Read it. His business plans to move into crypto and change the industry. Got to learn how to read. Khaldoon Khalifa Al Mubarak, CEO of the Mubadala investment company, told CNBC in a new interview that he now thinks that crypto is real. Okay. He said, I think this is a business that had, what, $200 billion worth of crypto value 2 years ago. And it's 2.5 trillion today and growing. So I think while many people are skeptics, I do not fall into that category. I think I now see it as real, end quote. Mubadala is a state-owned company based in the United Arab Emirates. Oh, making sense now. The sovereign investment fund has $243 billion worth of assets under management across 6 countries. For those of you, continents. For those of you who have you should have all heard of the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. I want to say the word rich, maybe even the word wealthy. So there's no real surprise there that a $243 billion wealth fund is going to be getting into the cryptocurrency industry. I think we have no clear meaning as to what exactly they're going to be doing. One would assume buying up Bitcoin, Ether, NFTs, other cryptocurrency projects, what have you. Not really a lot to say except for that rich people continuously find this magical powder and they go, oh my gosh, cryptocurrency is real. I would not be surprised. Logically, once again, rich people have been, for those of you who have not been here, we have had news before that for some reason, tons of rich people got into the cryptocurrency market in 2014 and then simply waited a couple of years to be like, oh, now I understand. Assumption, they probably just received paperwork that allowed this company to finally get into crypto. But I'm pretty sure, I would assume people working there probably already had cryptocurrencies for themselves. Once again, never forgetting the people in Dubai who I think loaned 100,000 Bitcoin to the mayor of Miami, or so the news goes. Anyway. That's the rich people continue to figure out that cryptocurrencies may potentially go higher in price in the future news. And yeah, let's move on. Next up, it's impossible to get away from this. The Spanish exchange Bit2Me and the Indian exchange Uno Coin have become the latest cryptocurrency exchanges to announce the listing of Shiba Inu. Bit2Me, one of the leading exchanges in Spain, announced it now supports Shiba Inu. The company listed the popular meme coin because of the massive interest from locals. Not really much more to say. This is happening more and more every single. I mean, I was gonna say it's happening more and more, but it's the same consistency. Shiba Inu, I was gonna say I wish I had wrote this down to actually see what the metric was, but Shiba Inu's in the news every single day. It's very weird. they're the only altcoin that is consistently in the news. That is, once again, not considering Ethereum to be an altcoin in this scenario. We know it's always Bitcoin, Ethereum, blah, 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 blah. Shiba Inu is always in the news. It's always getting added to some new platform. The Gemini twins just added it so you can buy diapers and shoes in not those specific things, but in Shiba Inu as well. Every single day. It's very fascinating. Anyway, so yeah, if you're in Spain or in India and you wanted desperately to buy some Shiba Inu, there you go. And without further ado, moving on. Next up, it says, editor's note, the original headline stated that Ukraine Central Bank would run the pilot. It has been changed to reflect that the pilot is being launched by Tascom Bank and BIT, literally just called BITT, under the central bank supervision. Fantastic. The Stellar Development Foundation announced that the Stellar blockchain will be used to pilot an electronic version of the it's missing some vowels. I have no idea how to pronounce this. It's HRYVNIA. Hryvnia. The national currency of Ukraine. The pilot, if you can tell me how to pronounce it, that'd be great, because I need vowels. The pilot, being carried out by the fintech firm BIT and Tascom Bank, will be overseen by the country's central bank with the encouragement of the Ministry of Digital Transformation in January. The ministry announced it had partnered with the Stellar Foundation, which promotes the use of lumens and the Stellar blockchain. I would assume, if they're the Stellar Lumens Foundation, one would assume, to create a central bank digital currency, something the National Bank of Ukraine has been exploring since 2017. Central bank digital currencies leverage decentralized ledgers such as that's not also not true. Central bank digital currencies don't always use decentralized ledgers. No. Central banks use their own ledger that they created that's only in-house, and they make a digital currency that everyone else is expected to use. They normally do not use decentralized blockchains to do this. So, yeah, as it stands right now, it looks like this is real. We haven't had any proper Stellar or Lumens news in a while. It's been a very good while. We had news a couple of years ago that they were working with IBM to allegedly create another digital coin currency that would run on top of it. A lot of the news that we have gotten from Lumens over the last 2 years, it's been maybe like 5 times prominently in the news, is that other companies or other countries, as you see on the screen, plan on using their blockchain to issue their own digital currency. So while Lumens will not explicitly be used, it appears that people screamed at me last year that apparently, I think Lumens are still used as the transaction fee or something like that. So Lumens is still being used in the background. And the idea is, if governments are pushing hundreds of millions and billions of dollars through it, therefore the Lumens are still being used, etc., etc. So cool. Hope it works out. I think it's very fascinating that a government would... No. I was going to say, I think I find it fascinating that a government would choose to use a decentralized platform, but these are going to be the most secure, because in the future, many countries are going to make their own central bank digital currencies, but they're going to be based off of, really a hyper-centralized blockchain, and it's not really going to work. You want the most security possible, so you do something. I have no idea how many nodes Lumens has, or Stellar has, but, you want something that has 10,000 spaces around the world, as opposed to just one. So if this one gets taken offline, well, your currency's in the dumps. But if you have 10,000 nodes around the world for this blockchain, and 4,000 of them go off for some whatever reason, your currency's still really good. So good on them. Let's see exactly how that goes. I'm pretty sure. Wait, is Ukraine the company that we had news about that some of their politicians own like $4 billion worth of Bitcoin or something like that? I don't know. Things are kind of, the puzzle pieces are fitting together. Anyway, that's Ukraine's central bank digital currency using Stellar news. And let's move on. Also in the news, the United Kingdom's Advertising Standards Authority, or the ASA, has banned 7 cryptocurrency-related promotions as part of a wider focus of potentially harmful crypto ads as per the BBC, the ASA has targeted crypto promotions from Coinbase, eToro, Papa John's, Luno Money, Xmo Exchange, Payword, and CoinBurp. The last one being CoinBurp. All 7 ads were banned for allegedly being irresponsible, taking advantage of consumers' inexperience, and for failing to illiterate the risk of the investment. Papa John's, a popular pizza chain, offered free Bitcoin. Oh, I remember this. We went over this weeks ago, like this actual promotion. Offered free Bitcoin worth £10, about $13, as well as telling customers that they would save $19 if they spend $39 or more on pizza. So basically, as far as I remember, the idea was if you spent over a certain amount, you would get $10 free in Bitcoin. Pretty self-explanatory. The pizza chain also linked their Bitcoin promotion to Bitcoin Pizza Day, which marks the first time that guy got really depressed because he spent around $400 million on 2 pizzas. The ASA said this promotion trivialized, here we go. They said the promotion trivialized what was a serious and potentially costly financial decision. Buying pizza? Especially in the context of the intended audience who were likely to have limited knowledge of cryptocurrency. I'm going to assume I don't live in the UK. There's probably tons of ads for government bonds, for gold, and for real estate everywhere. Usually, what ends up happening is, especially if you are trying to buy real estate in any different country, you're normally not sat down for about an hour to be told of the risks. When you view the property, you have to know what's wrong with it, what's going on with it. You have to do everything yourself and have to simply know that these things are also going to be taking place. You have to know if it's a freehold or a leasehold, if after 90 years, if the government gets it back. And none of this is actually ever explained to anyone. That seems a little bit more risky to me than someone who's already hungry going to buy a pizza and then getting free Bitcoin. A lot of times, I've kept track of a lot of these things. I lived in London for a while. I lived in Scotland. Not that you needed to know that. It's more for context. The UK a lot of times seems to want to desperately mimic the United States in like their bad money-making policies. Not even like, I'm not joking. Like, it's just a really weird thing. What exactly was irresponsible about Papa John's giving away free Bitcoin? Like, if they made it so that you had to spin a wheel and like do a little jig and do all this other stuff and, stand on your hands while drinking a liter of water, that's a little crazy, but you're getting the Bitcoin for free. No one tells you when you go to buy, if you're going to buy gold or silver deposit certificates, whatever it actually is, of the risks of buying gold and silver. I'm almost certain this year, an assumption, everyone who bought gold or silver was not told by the person who sold them the gold or silver that it's actually gone down by 1% in accordance to how high Bitcoin has gone up and many other assets. So gold actually lost money year on year compared to cryptocurrencies. And that's also a huge risk. Like, you are losing money in accordance with inflation that your government is currently doing. Do you want to take this risk and still buy the gold? I'm assuming that's not what's going on. So anyway, and though Payword had a disclaimer, its cautions were unclear. I think the UK is really, I wish the UK would stop trying to mimic other countries and just give proper regulations. If you told everyone from the get-go exactly what the problem was, they would be able to make new advertisement that had, not even at the bottom, not in very small text, even at the top. Please understand, cryptos are risky. However, we are offering you free money if you buy our pizzas, which you probably already were going to do because I assume they're delicious. Papa John's has been around for a very long amount of time. It's very sad, but this is just another way of countries trying to exert force and control over a market that they have no direct control over, except for trying to get people to get taxed, tell us where transactions are, and now apparently ads as well. When I read the Papa John thing one earlier, I thought it was a joke, and I was like, oh no, they're serious. Like, they're actually... I can only imagine what the Coinbase ad was. Coinbase is next to Gemini when it comes to like making sure that they are, regulate the heck out of us. We want the regulations. So what did they do wrong? And I don't even really. Coinbase is not my favorite cryptocurrency exchange. So if I'm defending them, I'm like, what in the world did they actually do that was so bad? But yeah, that's the like what? You have nothing else to do but ban ads because people are getting free crypto? I just really don't get it. I simply don't understand the logic behind any of that. Yeah. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening and also supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.